Welcome back, my fellow duplicants, to Oxygen Not Included. This is the megabase challenge, and in the last episode here, I built in some more oxygen. So we have another sort of electrolyzer system going down there, a self-powering unit, and that is a mirror image, we're very close to it, of this system up here at the top. Also started the plan for this giant natural gas power plant, which we will build onto and do some more interesting things, so it won't be exactly like the last natural gas power plant that I built in one of my other challenges. However, I think there's something I want to try today, and that also corresponds with a need that I have inside of my base, and that is to bring in another duplicate. Now, we've been talking about this in the last episode. It came up many times, and that is what happens if you put an exosuit checkpoint and dock and all that stuff outside of, let's say, their general quarters. So this is where your duplicant sleeps or whatever, and then they pop on their suit and then they go and run throughout the rest of the base. What happens if we set that up? That's what I want to see here. So when I bring in my next duplicant, I'm going to set up an apartment that has that exact arrangement, and we'll see just how well that actually works out in practice. So that's going to be the goal today. Meanwhile, I'm also going to be mining up a lot of gold amalgam so that I have the resources to build up this power plant. So let's hop to it. Okay, first things first, we gotta get rid of some of the building around here. And you know what, maybe I just gotta finish digging some of this up. Get rid of that, destroy that. I gotta get... You know what would be a good place for this? I don't think I need any of this stuff down here. I mean, this can all go away. Just get rid of all this. Look at all this resource. Look at it all. Alright, so we're gonna sweep that up, make sure we get that taken care of. I've had Dr. Camille on sweeping duty before, so that's what she's going to do now. Sweep it up. Okay, so for this new apartment, I think I'm going to have the exact same height, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 open tiles is the right way to go, but it's going to be a little bit longer. I also can turn this algae deoxidizer off. I just don't need that. Save it. I should have plenty of oxygen now. Although, poor Frankenmeep down here still has to hold his breath. Hopefully this little terrarium here will actually suck up some of that carbon dioxide. And hopefully I said that right this time. I mess that up every single time. So this is going to need to be an extra 2 tiles long, so I'll need to have all that factored in. I can speed this up a little bit more. We don't want to wait forever. Alright, so while they try to clean up this little mess that I've created here, many of you guys were commenting about the accidental clap sync I was leaving at the beginning of the video, hence the clapping. What I do there, in case you guys are wondering, this creates a spike in the audio, so when I go to edit the video, I can see, you know, where my hands come together and where the mic track is, and then line them up so that my voice matches what you're seeing. Otherwise, if they're not in sync, it drives people nuts. And it only has to be a little bit off in order for you to notice that. So that's what that's all about. It also lets me know if I make a mistake and I have to, you know, start over. I'll usually do a clap sync to get back onto the main point again. So that's a couple of the cues and essentially the very simple things that I do in order to understand where I'm at in the video. And I left that in, a lot of you guys were commenting on that. Tajana says, idea, the ice challenge. Actually, when you're starting off with the world gen settings and you're actually starting into a new game, there is a couple of different map settings that you can select from. One of them being a very cold biome. So that is I guess, an early stage of challenge ideas that they're actually developing into the game. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here with further game development, since challenges have been something that I've been doing for a long time now, and I think it's a very interesting way to play the game if you've already played the base game, you know, coming up with different scenarios and whatnot. So I like to see that. Okay, so this question from the stick here, I'm not exactly sure how to answer your question, but it does bring up the same sort of idea. What about these storage compactors and the stuff that I've put inside of them, right? These things were made out of abyssalite, and they're 45 degrees Celsius inside of this space where everything else is different. I haven't actually put anything inside of here. I guess it has bristle blossoms, and here's what's happened. right? So I put the storage compactor inside of here, and you can see it's 26.6 degrees Celsius. In this space, it is about the same temperature. But what do we have up here? 26.6, 26. There's a good chance that it's storing those ingredients simply because that was the temperature that it is right there. I'm not sure if I were to throw something else in here. Let's hear, what could I throw in here? How about some copper ore? I'll just make it really high priority and they bring it over and let's see what happens for a little bit. No, 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 turn it back on. Oh, they're moving everything. Okay, so right off the bat here, even though I thought this storage compactor might potentially isolate things as far as the temperatures inside of them, it doesn't look like that is happening because I quickly saw this seed drop down in temperature, so that did not work. But it was interesting. It just didn't work. Wow, there's a lot of stuff right here that needs to be swept up. It's taking a long time. Haha! That works every time. If I build a pneumatic door, that hatch seems to fall right into it and get stuck. So, there's a method for moving around your hatches. even if you don't have the tools necessary to trap them and move them that way. Let's see if I can do this number. Take a bottle emptier and just place it right next to the pitcher pump and then drain it right down here. So if I use this and then I just say normal water, let's see what happens. Hey, that works out. Nice. Oops. I got my duplicants stuck in here because I left this thing enabled. Oh boy. I get pissed on the floor. Alright. My bad. My bad. Oh, you know what I should have inside of here as well? A shower. That's what I don't have in the other ones. Okay, so here was another question when we're talking about as far as like polluted oxygen farms. It looks like polluted water now is giving off a lot of polluted oxygen because we could see just how much polluted oxygen there is in this space. 21 kilograms, extremely high pressure. Matter of fact, I have to be quite careful going in and out of there, so. Yeah, see now I've got germs. Matter of fact, I don't want to go in there. We'll just set the default permissions to not go in and out. You guys were telling me about that. Instead of hitting the lock button, having somebody run up there and do it. That's another way of doing it. So if I take food and make the hydroponic farms right there, I can go ahead and just do this number. That should be enough space. I don't actually have to go all the way up there. Hopefully these germs, though, hopefully they die off, because otherwise that's not going to be good. However, I think the body temperature here might end up being too hot, because the overall temperature in that space is pretty toasty. So one of my options, I'll use a gas vent here, and then I'll pipe up some nice cold gas up there. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit of polluted oxygen flowing through this area because there's just so much of it over there. Look at that, 14.7 kilograms or whatever. It just keeps going up. There's a high pressure, and it's sneaking past all of my mechanical airlocks, even though there's a lot of them, because there's a lot of work going on down here. So they're, you know, traveling in and out constantly. Matter of fact, I would say I don't think I want Dr. Camille to go through there, just so that she doesn't constantly sweep. So one thing I'm going to use here is I'm finally going to use the deodorizer, and I'm going to place it right here just to kind of suck up some of that polluted oxygen as it's coming in. Alright, so I've got the new bathroom here all plumbed up and ready to go. If I look at my room overlay, that does not meet the space because it has the exosuit arrangement inside of it. So I could add a door here and gain that back if I wanted to. I think that might be worth doing, actually. Now, I did not say destroy any of the pipes. I said only destroy the tile. Now, why on earth is that happening? Punks? Dumping super hot water all over my base. Come on, duplicants. I don't even know how that tile canceled. Ah, whatever. Okay, so looking at the room overlay, it was there for a little while until I got rid of it. Whoops. Build the light. Build it now. No, everybody wants to take a shower. That's what it is. Speaking of which, how is this doing up here? Temperature-wise, body temperature is too hot. So now if I look at my system... Bummer. The thimble reeds are still just too hot. Too hot, too hot, too hot. What do they need for temperature? 36.9. I'd have to bring them all the way back down here just to have them work. Well, I gotta do what I gotta do. Alright, so here's a cool comment. This was made by Brother Anthrax here. What a name, dude. He's found a way to make tungsten, you know, without debug mode. It turns out you can actually make some other stuff with that as well. So what he's doing here is he's using what looks to be the thermal liquid aqua tuners and just kind of running them against each other more or less, or just to cool down, and then overheat one rapidly so that whatever material you make it out of, let's say wolframite, and you superheat it real quick, that it can then become tungsten. So that's pretty interesting. I think that's something we'll need to explore at some point here, using oil as his cooling material. I like it. It's pretty cool. So he calls it the chlorine tungsten forge. So that's pretty neat. Thanks for sharing that with me. Seems like you can eat without having to take the suit off. Maybe they got like a little slot they can just slide it through and eat their little meal through there. Check Von Vile's comment out here. I would like a colony to survive just off the water from Dupe's tears. Like, what a horrible person. What is he? You would need to confine them and fill the room with heavy watt wire to constantly raise their stress to 100%. That's terrible, dude. What a horrible way. You know, duplicants have feelings too. I mean, at least most of the time. Could you imagine the kickback if I tried to do that challenge? I mean, I got ripped a new one for frying Meep's brain. What do you think torture chamber would be? Those are only left for the worst of the worst duplicants. However, it would be an interesting challenge. Alright, so I've got the exosuit, you know, checkpoint right here. Let's request a suit. Someone bring one over. I tell you what, we'll make this Frankenmeeps. He's gonna come down here. He's going to test out our new exosuit system here. Obviously, I need to fill it with oxygen. Oh, which I conveniently already have. How about that? That's pretty nice. It's like I planned for this, almost. Look how much oxygen is in my base, though. There's tons of it. It's like all over the place. And a lot of hot water. Let's get rid of the hot water. Oh, there's heat everywhere. This is like the hot base challenge. Look at this. Look at this madness. Oh, I'm glad I cut it off from the lava. Holy moly. Oh. Meep, that is your Alright, Meep, that is your lavatory and your sink. Not both ways, just that way. Then you can take a shower. I guess everybody's gonna jump in the shower because I can't assign that to just one duplicate. So, I hope you like to share, Meep. I think this means I could put a storage compactor right up here and then feed the hatch. Matter of fact, I think that's how that would work. It's a pretty convenient way to do that. Not a bad system I accidentally came up with. I think I'll roll with it. And bam! I can make a storage compactor right there. Actually, I don't know if that probably won't work. Because it's not on solid ground. I can easily make it out of a tile that I could just get rid of. Maybe every 50 cycles or so, I just empty a bunch of fertilizer right down there. Oh, you know what? Frankenmeep won't have to share. Because once I enable this little guy down here, they won't be able to go in and out without having the exosuit available. Oh, that's probably on the wrong side. Is it on the wrong side? It totally is. Fail. I don't know why everybody's using your toilet, Meep, but everybody seems to think this is like a community bathroom you got going on down here. Okay, so how is this going, huh? Yes? Maybe bring that up to 7. Hop to it. There we go. Now the temperature should be all right. There you go. As far as the polluted water is concerned, I have a lot of it. Maybe I should grow more. All right, there we go. So now this is sucking it down. How's my supply of water doing though? Oh, it's doing fantastic over here. Perfect. All right, let's bring in another duplicant. See what we have. Oh, and speaking of which, Frankenmeep has accidentally painted himself in the middle of his sleep somehow, and well, he's got splatter paint for bed now. But I'm going to enable this, hopefully before he runs out. That'll be the first thing he does, and then puts on his exosuit. That way, he's always in his exosuit. Let's see if it happens. No, like the first thing it did. Oh no, it's getting complicated. Okay, so Bubbles. Way to ninja that one. I guess Bubbles is gonna end up down here. This is your room. Sorry. Alright, so let's bring in a new duplicant. Alright, Mima, welcome to the crew. I need a technician. I've got a very technical build going on here, so your needs will be... or I need you. How about that? I don't know what I'm trying to say there. Okay, so... Bubbles is going to constantly be running around in a bubble. Because that only makes sense. Let's just follow her. Here she goes. Oh, she ditched it. Oh, well, that's awkward. You're not gonna be able to get... Okay, so problem number 1. Bubbles, you can't get back into the suit. And I don't think anybody can dump this off. And Marie and Meep, everybody's stuck inside of here. They can't get out. Unless somebody delivers a suit. This doesn't work her out at all. Oh no, this is bad. All right, so there's a few problems with this whole idea. Mainly that everybody's gonna keep dropping Atmos suits over here once they pick them up from over here. All right, well, it was a fun idea, but right now it doesn't really work. Unless everybody has access to their own exosuit docks. And they can't end up sharing, I guess, like that. I don't know. I feel like if that's how you run your base, you're very quickly going to end up with a bunch of like Atmos suits just floating all over the place. And none of your duplicates are going to be able to get out of their own little cell. It's a fun idea though. Maybe we'll make it work next time. Okay, so I think today was a success, right? We experimented with some things. We've kind of slightly solved the polluted water problem that I have going on here, or at least I have a solution that I can work or expand with, which thanks to you guys, you know, this is actually going to work here. I got thimble reeds now rolling. We explored this idea, the continuous dock experiment, I guess, and it didn't really work quite as well as I thought it was going to, but you know, it has some potential. Every now and then. Maybe. And last but not least, there's been a little bit of progress on this base up here. Mostly I've mined the resources, or a lot of the resources that I need to actually make some of this stuff. So that's good. This stuff here is not actually made of the right stuff. I put it on priority level 1, but apparently they still got down to the point of actually being able to make that. So there is some stuff started up here, but the power plant still has a long ways to go. I think though, the nice observation that I have here is just how much polluted oxygen is coming off of this polluted water. I think in the past it wasn't giving off polluted oxygen, but there's a chance that it might be doing it now because I've seen a consistent, you know, I mean, look at how much polluted oxygen is over here. There's a lot. So there might be something to that which we can use to our advantage in the mealwood farm, as we go and experiment more with that later on. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little episode of Oxygen Not Included. And if I've earned your subscription, then thank you so much for that. Have a wonderful day, guys. Stay awesome. Peace. Brothgar out.